Good evening. Welcome to our back to school night. I am Dr. Iglesias, proud principal of Fallbrook High School. Welcome to our 2020-2021 school year. Let's go Warriors. So I'm just so proud of all our students and families. I know this has not been easy. This has been a very difficult time in our history, but we're moving forward together. And tonight I wanted to take a couple minutes and reflect on that. Last year, in addressing our families, I had mentioned that we were a family, that we would have some likes and dislikes in some possible issues. Well, we're here a full year later. I have missed our students. It's been 6 months since we've had class for our students, and I have missed you all dearly. I know we have over 600 ninth graders entering our school, and I'm eager to get to know them. So there's a lot of turmoil in my heart because I have missed our students. I'm anxiously awaiting the new students, and we're still moving forward with all things education for our students, which is so important. So let me take a couple moments here. Let me take a couple moments here and say that we had gone from being hopeful during the beginning of the pandemic, to then becoming a little bit fearful, and then entering a stage of anger. And I don't want us to be there at all. I want us to go back to being a family and being hopeful. Two things that I'm hopeful for, that I know that I'm prioritizing this school year, is excellence in academics, excellence in social and emotional well-being. That's my priority. I'm going to keep it very basic. Two things: excellence in academics, excellence in our social emotional well-being. I think those two things are very critical for us, and I want to keep us focused as a school community. So let's revisit some important items here. Let me move us forward, and let me move my face. So you all should be very familiar with this online learning schedule. It's important that I highlight a couple things. So the typical school day is around 6 hours for you as a student. Right now, under COVID-19 instructional minutes, it's about 4 hours a day. So that's 240 minutes that we are required at this time. So when you think about the schedule and why this schedule, this is why. There's been some flexibility. There's been some collaboration on what the day should look like and some of the possible structures we can implement. So as you can see, wherever you see red is meant for you to be engaged with us, to equate, again, those 4 hours. And so we have worked really hard together as a team, teachers and administration, to come up with this game plan for you. And so we've had this week, we lived this schedule, and hopefully we now have a feel for it. Again, it's new, it's all new to all of us. And we're 1 week into it, 1 week down, 5 more weeks to go. We have a commitment as a community to be online for 6 weeks. And I do want to reiterate that. I know that there are a number of items in the news that speak to timelines. I get it. I understand. But as a community, we are committed for the first 6 weeks of school to be online. And so I want you to get familiar with this schedule, because it's the way we're going to conduct our instructional time for you. So a couple other items in regards to the schedule and our agreement with our teachers. So these are 90-minute blocks. 90-minute blocks. And within those 90 minutes, it's live time of teacher support and being there for you and with you. And the other part of this is the commitment with the 90-minute live block is that 60 to 75 minutes of that time should be instructional time. Live instructional time. So parents, yes, there'll be some variation when it comes to this. I wanted to make sure I was clear on this. It's 90-minute live blocks Within those 90 minutes, teachers have the ability to utilize that time of 60 to 75 minutes of it could be instructional time. So I wanted to make sure you understood that because I know there's been questions about how is time being used? What does it look like? Why is there a variation? So there is. It was part of the teacher's agreement. And so just know that and be aware of it. And that's why we're trying to hit those 240 minutes a day in a variety of ways. So when we speak to synchronous time, it's the live time in the 90-minute blocks. It's also asynchronous, where we have that time period during Fridays, 30 minutes per course of offline work to be done. And that's why the 7:40 to 9:40 morning on Fridays, where students can work offline on their own during their asynchronous time. So that was very important that I express that to you, because I know there's been some questions about why the 4 hours a day and how does that look like? What does that look like, and why is it all in parts and pieces? Well, this is why. The other part is having that advisory period on Fridays, 9:50 to 10:50 in the morning, of providing students support. Emotional learning is really important. Knowing oneself, social emotional learning is going to be key in these advisory periods, as well as college and career lessons. So again, we're trying to make sure we're supporting our students in a way that's going to be beneficial to them and to ourselves. And as we roll the schedule out, we're also looking at other times during those Fridays. For example, at 11, club meetings, speaker series, and tutorials or tutoring. Same thing at 12:40 p.m. And then at the end of the day at 1:41, we're looking to have online student support. So just wanted to look back at the schedule and make sure that you understood it. I know I put out a survey for students, and this is a question that they had. Give us more information on the schedule. This is why we have utilized this schedule. And again, if we're able to come back in 6 weeks, and we're already completed 1 week, if we're able to come back in a way that's safe, that's COVID-19 regulated, then we would make this schedule a hybrid schedule where students would come on to campus. Half of the population would be here, half the population would be at home. And so we created the schedule to be able to facilitate that hybrid model once we are ready to resume school. And again, once we're ready as a school community and we have agreed upon that. Again, know that COVID-19, the virus, has not been resolved. And so if we do move forward in 6 weeks, again, a big if, we have to agree as a school community, and it's bigger than us. We have to maintain those regulations of physical distancing and also wearing a mask and so forth. So just know that this schedule does facilitate itself for that hybrid model. So a little more on the Friday. Let me move my mind and my head. Here we go. I can't move my mind. I can only move my head. So again, that's why Fridays are asynchronous assignments, 30 minutes of asynchronous instruction per course. It's meant to provide feedback and make sure that we're accountable, our students are accountable for their learning. It's not for you to master. It's not about mastery. It's about being front loaded and given the opportunity to also work on your own and get caught up. So also it's in preparation for the following week, and then providing you coaching and support by the teacher, by the paraprofessional. So I just wanted to make you aware of, again, those Fridays are meant to be asynchronous during the morning time, and it's important because it adds up to the 240 minutes required on a daily basis for your instruction. Let me move my head. So platforms. You have engaged in a number of learning platforms. You all should have a Chromebook. You all know about Google Classrooms. Every one of our teachers has the Google Classroom. You have now engaged in Google Meet or Zoom. And then now you've experienced advisory. So we are working on a tutorial part of Fridays, and now you're aware of asynchronous learning. So that's all part of the work that we're doing as a school community. Very important that you're aware of that. Communication is so critical, and so we use Aries Communication to communicate to you via phones, text message, emails, and the feed when you enter your portal, whether you're a student or a parent. I do want to pause here and say, parents, you do a tremendous job in receiving this information. I don't know what's going on with students. It looks like they just look at their feed. I would like everyone to have their emails in Aries. I saw the analytics and the information going out to our students. It looks like only several hundred have emails in there. We have over 2,000 students. So I would like every one of you to have your emails in Aries so I can communicate with you. That's important. That's part of our commitment to you, is all our teachers will push out information via Aries as well as myself. So please keep that information updated so we can get a hold of you. The next thing I want to talk to you guys about is Apex and Orenda. So these are partnerships. So we have partnered up with Apex to provide us with an online platform for curriculum. So Apex Learning, all students, and I have an update, all students have been updated and uploaded into the Apex system. So you can go on and have materials and resources for you. Now, again, we're all going through this together. We're all learning together. So Apex is assigned to every core class, not electives, not all electives. So we're working with the elective teachers to create learning opportunities for our students, and we'll also send that information out to our students regarding when you may be able to pick up materials and resources. But for right now, all students have been uploaded into Apex in their core classes. So some teachers may use Apex quite a bit, extensively, to support learning. And then some may use it as a resource and materials. But one thing you do know is, I need you to know as a student, is you all have access to Apex. This is like a guaranteed curriculum. This is like having a textbook at home. But yes, teachers will be able to use it in a way that's flexible, that's meaningful, that's intentional for your learning. So just be aware that we have uploaded your information as a student into the system, and you have access to this. And that is via our single sign-on Clever application. And this is how we validate that you are one of our students. This is very critical. So we do have a, what do you call them, a little widget on our webpage. So you can go on to Clever, and once you log into Clever, you have access to a number of applications and software. This is one of the critical components to our online learning. So again, Apex is we're in partnership with them to provide our digital texts, our digital curriculum, and I needed you to know that. The other partnership that we have is with Orenda, and that's the work, a couple areas. First, for our core classes like mathematics and language arts, we're working together to align ourselves to our state standards and make sure that we're hitting all state standards, and all our units, all our lessons, all our assessments are aligned to be able to provide our students academic excellence. Absolutely, that's critical. The other part that we have also partnered up with Orenda is our model of instruction at this time. So it's called the TLC model, which is the teacher workshop for the T. The L is learning online, so the materials you get offline, right? So the videos and the assignments. And then the C is for coaching. So coaching in the sense of how do we differentiate and support students' individual supports and needs that they may have. So we're going to be using our time wisely, where we'll have some time where we'll be able to coach our students, provide them instructional supports and anything that they may need. We're there for them. So that's the model that we're also working with Orenda on. So it's called the TLC model, and I wanted you to know that it's something that's really exciting and important for us. We're also looking at providing our teachers instructional technology coaches to continue to roll out some of these apps, some of these programs that we're all new to. Even I myself, look at, I'm experimenting. I'm using Loom right now. So again, incredible partnerships that are going to benefit our students. And then last but not least, I want to speak about programs, our programs here at our school. We have tremendous opportunities here at Fallbrook High School. We have, for example, advanced placement, we have AVID, we have our CTE pathways, we have Global Village, which is the program that builds up into our IB program. And we are now an IB World School, so International Baccalaureate program, which again, we're giving students a variety of programs and academic excellence. So I wanted to speak to this because this is our commitment to you as our families, as our community, our students. I wanted to take some time and speak about why we are doing everything we're doing. And we are committed to you and are dedicated to increasing knowledge, but also excellence in everything we do and opportunities for you. So as a school, we're graded. We're graded, period. And one of the things that we're graded on is known as the College and Career Indicator. The College and Career Indicator has 4 areas. So it speaks to state standards and proficiency on state assessments. So by the time you reach 11th grade, you're going to take this assessment and you're going to show that you have proficiency or mastery of state standards. So as a school, we have fluctuated. And so I don't want to fluctuate. I want to continue to grow and improve and be steady. And so this is one of our commitments to you. And this is why we have a partnership with Orenda, is that we continue to excel in this area. Very critical. This is, again, one of our reports, one of our report card indicators. And for me, it's something super serious that we want to continue to grow on. And I wanted you to know that this is what we look at when we look at growth for students. How are we doing with state standards? So that's one area in the College and Career Indicator. The other area that they look at is whether or not you're career ready. So this is why we have a number of CTE pathways. Career Technical Education. CTE pathways. We want you to take the opportunity to take one of these pathways and complete them. Not just take classes, complete them. This is how we're graded. How many students completed a CTE pathway? And I have to say that the number has fluctuated again, but we're seeing some steady growth. So I want to really encourage you that not only is it about mastering standards, but it's also about having an understanding of a career pathway, a CTE pathway that you can speak to, and having completed the pathway. So that's important, and I want you to be aware. And then the other 2 areas that we speak to in the College and Career Indicator. So we spoke about standards and mastery of standards. We spoke about career, technical education. The other 2 areas that we're graded on are in the area of, for example, advanced placement and then the future IB tests. So advanced placement tests and IB tests also are part of this report card that we get. So one thing is taking the course, the other is passing the assessments and the tests that go along with those advanced placement and IB courses. And that's an area that we get graded on. So on average, it should be above a 3 when it comes to AP examinations. And so I just want to speak to that because some students sometimes make requests for changing their schedule and in 2 ways, courses or not having a course. And I really want to make sure that you understand that we're graded on not only proficiency of assessments, of state testing. Not only does it speak to being career ready, but it also speaks to being college ready. And this is the area, having advanced placement, for example, and having the corresponding test score. The other part of this for being college ready is taking the A through G requirements. And yes, it's about taking, and we have a commitment as a school that you take courses that align to the UC and CSU programs. So those are the 4 areas, guys. It's very super critical that you know that as a school we're graded on those 4 areas. Are our students proficient or advanced in state standards? Have they completed a career pathway, a CTE pathway? Are they ready for college in the sense of taking advanced placement and IB courses and then also testing well in those? And then the last one is, are they taking A through G courses? And so I'm going to pause here because many times parents and students request changes in their schedules and in their classes. And for me, as your principal, as your leader, I want to make sure you're aware that I want you to meet those 4 areas. It's super critical as a school. It's super critical for you as a student and for your learning. So just, again, making you aware of where I stand when it comes to all things academic, all things college and career readiness. Okay? So I started the conversation back to school night with 2 priorities, and I'll remind you here. One is academic excellence, and therefore I've mentioned all that I've mentioned. The other part is having excellence in our social emotional well-being. So critical for us right now as a school community, so critical as human beings. So I do want to pause and say there will be an emphasis on social emotional well-being during our advisories. Also, as a school community, I want to continue the work of restorative practices. That's restoring relationships when someone's done or made a mistake. We want to heal that relationship. We don't want to cast people away and say, oh, I'm so sorry, you're out of our community. We want to make sure that we're able to heal those relationships and move forward. And another thing is I'm asking our students and our parents in our community to work on this initiative. It's called No Place for Hate. Again, no place for hate. We're going to make sure we recognize that everybody is included in our community. There is no place for hate at our school. And so that's why we're going to start this initiative. And I'm asking you, if you want to be part of this, if you want to volunteer your time to these committees, please let me know. Again, those are the 2 areas I want to prioritize. Your academic excellence, and then your excellence in your social emotional well-being. Being online, I know it's tough, and I know I've received some items that are a little disheartening. People making fun of each other, people calling each other names, and this is why there's no room for hate at our school, and thus creating this committee to work on that. So again, just making sure that you know my commitment to you, and together we're going to go forward, move forward, and grow forward, okay? And that brings me to the last slide, which is once I'm done speaking, you're going to enter your virtual back to school night teacher schedule. So first period starts at 6, second period starts at 6:15, third period 6:30, fourth period 6:45, fifth period 7, and then sixth period at 7:15. Giving everybody a 5-minute break. And then, of course, if you have a 0 or a 7th period, you'll start that at 7:30. All right, guys, that's all I have for you tonight. Thank you for listening to me. I hope you understand where I'm coming from. I am your biggest cheerleader. I believe in you. We're going to get through this together. And then hopefully in 6 weeks, COVID-19 regulations permitting, community coming together and understanding, we may be able to move forward with the hybrid model. Again, that's still a big question mark, but we know that for right now, we're committed to you for the next 6 weeks online. All right, have a great evening. Goodbye.